Hello and welcome to the channel. So we've got an Impact 60 watt amp here, and I've bought this off eBay. I actually put a post in community, so one or two of you have probably already seen this amp, or at least in the pictures. It's arrived today. Now I bought this to restore. These amps are really rare, and this one is in a very bad state. We've got bass pot missing, we've got odd pots here, we've got knobs missing. These knobs aren't the original ones from what I've seen of the pictures. Did a bit of investigating online one night. Got this poor man's drip edge on here that's just gone as well. The cabinet's in quite bad shape. If we just flick round a little, you can just see on the edge of here and on the corners. If we go back, you can see the same on here. There's no covering whatsoever on the bottom. Covering's completely stripped off. I presume it had covering on, but there's none now. We've got a very thick power cable. I'm not sure whether that's original or not. Just flick. Yeah, but yeah, that's it's about 16 amps that does. So if we just tip it forward, you can see we've got paint splattered all over the top and things. Let's have a look at the back. This thing ain't right. So we're looking at the back. We've got 110, 220, 230 and 250. Appears to be set on 250. This does look like the original cable, but as we can see, that's needs addressing. Can't have that nowadays. We've got a switch here, switching from, looks like 7.5 to 15 ohms. The speaker sockets, they look like they've been replaced. Another one there, not sure what that is. That's been added in. So the guy did say in the description that this amp has been extensively modded. Got some writing on there. This amplifier has an output of 60 watts. So let's get this back off and get it out of the chassis, and we can now have a look at what we're dealing with. I don't think we're going to get this amp powered up, to be honest. I don't know until we get inside. I don't know how much it's been modded or whatever, altered, so we've got to get inside it first and have a look. So we've got is that the power transformer, output transformer choke, two sockets don't look in great condition. The output tubes, 2, 3, 6 preamp tubes, 2 AL34s to go in there. Transformer here looks like that's been replaced. That is the reverb transformer, that looks new. Now this amp was made in 1968, I think. From the information on the schematic and looking at some pictures and things online, there is one website. You can actually have a look at that, but there's one website that's got information about these amps. So from what I can glean, this is pre-Dallas Arbiter. So the Impact, I forget what's written. They've got a different name, the Dallas Arbiters. I'll have to go and look it up again. It's late at night now, and I'm on the night shift. But yeah, but this is one of the pan ones. and this was made in London. But we'll have a look at all that gumph later. I forget gumph like that so easy, you know. I read it and then but this is an early one of the good ones. So we've got these transformers then should be Partridge transformers. I didn't think they were when I first looked at this, but one or two of you that's looked online, looked at the community post, said they were Partridge transformers, and now I'm beginning to think that they are actually Partridge transformers as well, because due to its age, that's the main thing. That's what steers me towards that. So we've got capacitors here. So we've got 32 there at 450 volts. Looking at that, I'm just looking to see if there's any date codes on those, or even what type of capacitors they are. Let's have a closer look. And we get it in, and AHC-ZB. So not sure on those. I think they are the original ones that were in it, from what pictures I've looked at. So is what's the other one? You can't see that very well. 32 as well on that one. So yeah, a little bit low for a 60 watt amp. But so now we're looking inside. This is the bit we really wanted to look at and see what's going on in here. So this is looking inside, and this is pretty much where I need to be getting my eyes into and see what's been done to this amp. Will it even run? So let's just have a look. We use this screwdriver because it's not been switched on for Indians. So we've got a couple of resistors there that's been added. Look like those Mingy 8 watt resistors. And I'm not sure that is this some more. There's a group of those, so we'll have to have a look what that's about. Diodes are original. Bias diode original. Those resistors look original. These brown caps seem to be in all of them, so they are original. So all of this up to here is original, except for that there. Possibly that capacitor has been changed, I don't know. That's been changed there. And then we've got some resistors that have been added here. Another resistor that's been added there, or replaced, not sure. Then this is original here and here. And then all of this has been modded, or most of this here. If we just slide it in so you can see, most of this has been modded. Let's just go in a bit closer. So if we look over here, you can see that there's been quite a bit of modding going on. That looks original, that 220k. That's been changed. That bypass cap's been added over that 1.5. Now I seem to remember on the schematic when I was browsing at it, and we'll have a look at that, I seem to remember that that was 100 nanofarad across there. That's obviously a cathode resistor. And there's another bypass cap being put on there. I plan to put this amp back to original as regards the circuit. I may up the filter caps to 50-50 and leave the 32, add a 32 in place of the other one, which is what we've already got in there. That's been replaced. A couple of plate resistors here by the look of it. There's a wire being added here. Obviously this amp came with no tubes. So fair bit of modding has gone on here. Now let's have a look at the try and get down and look at some of this wiring here. If we're looking, so that's been added by the look of it. These wires look original. That's been added. I think that's been added, and it looks like somebody's been modding on this tube socket here. I'm not sure, looks like it. So yeah, quite a bit of modding's been going on. There's a socket here not connected up. That's just not, if we just go up there, there's a socket here that's not even connected, and there's another socket here which is connected to the speakers by the look of it. So somebody's drilled 2 holes in it there, unless one of those was for the reverb foot switch or something, in which case then it's only had 1 hole drilled in it. Don't know on that. Not too concerned about that though. I'm more concerned about getting this thing running. So if we look here, we've got balancing resistors on there. So are they wired in series? We'll have to look at the schematic. I was going to test those, but can't really test them with the balancing resistors on. Let's check. We can check the diodes though. Let's see if they're okay. We'll check the transformer windings. So let's check these diodes first of all then, and just see if we can prop this up better. Check these diodes. So let's start with this one. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Yep. Bias diode. Yeah, that's okay. So the diodes are okay. Let's see where we're coming in. Check the power cable. Have we got a look at this power cable? My days, just look at this. The things they used to do in those days. 1968, I was 4 years old when this amp was made. Some wires cut off here, you can't see that under there, but there's some wires being cut off on, and that looks like that's on the speed of the tremolo, so it looks like that's all been disconnected. See if the fuses are in for starters. Yeah, fuses are it. Well, that one is. Yeah, fuses aren't blown, but we best obviously we'll be dealing with all of that. So if I do fire this amp up, I'll be firing it up on the bulbs anyway, so the fuses won't matter. The bulbs will catch anything, the slightest short or anything, the bulbs just catch it, and no damage will be done. But we're still going to have a check round. First of all, let me just see. Oh yeah, that's going. Oh, there's another. I've just looked under the board. There's another capacitor botched underneath. That can't be original, can it? I think it might be, you know. That looks original to me. Right. So we've got a capacitor underneath the board. Not quite sure what's going on there. That must be original. I bet that's in good order. If not, Transformer primary looks okay. Secondary, there's actually two capacitors under that board, not one, actually two. I think we better get a schematic and have a look so we can see a bit more of what's going on. Right, I was looking at this just assuming it was a bridge rectifier, but it's not. Just the way they're laid out in there, you can see it's not a bridge rectifier. You can see the diodes just in series there on each side of the AC for more swayage. So that comes out into these capacitors here, which says 1616 on those, 3232 on these, on this amp rather. So yes, so that reading now we just need to that wasn't very nice meter, how rude. So yes, so that's the reading of that secondary. That's what I was looking for on there. And the switch, probably can't see on there now without me turning off the light again. But if we look, wow, this is small. You can see the switch there on that secondary there. So when let's just go back. Right. So if I flick the standby switch, you can see we lose the secondary measurement there. It's breaking the connection. So that looks okay. Let's move on to the output transformer now. So we're looking for the plate. So let's have a look on there. So 1, 2, 3, this white wire. Oops. Put the meter there. It's really awkward this is now. Put the meter there and let's go to there, see if we get a reading, see if that's connected to center tap, and it looks like it is. So what I've connected to there is the diodes, the positive of the diodes coming out to the caps. 129k, 130k, that looks right. And then, so is it this wire here, this purple wire? Purple, let me just get around the other side of the camera. So purple wire there, purple wire, and then back on the positive there. It's funny, oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Yeah, 129. 129.1. Let's try the other one again, which was there and there. $130.3. Wow, that's well balanced. See if we've got continuity across the speaker sockets. And yes, we have. So all looks good. All looking good. There's no shorts on the amp at all. So that's good. Right. So we've got the tubes in. We're going to fire this up. And if anybody's thinking of berating me in the comments for firing this up, it's mine. So we've got a speaker on. I've cut the cable off because that was just dreadful. I've put a ground on here. Got a plug in the wall with this ground on, and I've just put a cheater cable on the onto the switch there. Well, we're using the current limiter, it's no big deal, but I do like a ground on something when I'm working on it. start with a low wattage bulb. So that meter will be monitoring the HT voltage coming in. I've got another meter down here, so I'm going to use to check the bias as this amp's firing up. It's just got a couple of test tubes in, output tubes, so no big deal. Speaker in, we need the signal generator plugged in so we can tell if we're getting any signal, can't we? So we'll plug into there, switch the signal generator on, which is inside the oscilloscope on that one. So that's going, it will be in a minute. All looking good. Right, we'll get the plug in. Got a 16 watt start. I'm just going to put a 15 watt bulb in to start, just see what happens. Says negative 35. I've just got the leads wrong way around on the meter, but that's no problem. Vigum, that's bright. Let's put another one in, and that's what we got now, 84 volts. 8095 going up. What we got current wise, 100 milliamps. So nothing major going on. Let's go up a bit more. That's 40 watt. It's going up. Right, let me just check that we've got some bias on the tubes before we start. Move this meter. Yeah, negative 19, so we've got bias on the tubes there. 205. I can't hear anything yet, mind you. Oh, I can. We have sound. Yes, we've got sound. Got a dodgy socket. 205. Let's try the other one. Let's blast a bit of gumption in there.
Gumption, 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 gumption. Gumption, 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 gumption.
That's a bit more stable. So that's sounding good. Let's put another 15 in there. 55, it's coming up now, you can hear it. But that socket's faulty, so they'll need changing. Just old and worn out. So that's the reverb humming. Try the other channel. No, that's shot. Nothing from the other channel. So we've only got one channel working, but that's okay. To get it fired up. Oh, they're using this. I see. They're using that as a master volume. That's looking good. How much we got going into it? 135 volts. And it's running with merriment. So if we look at the controls, you can see we can see that this socket's a bit dodgy. The volume, treble's working. Is the bass working? Let's see if the bass is working, shall we? Yeah, Bass is working. We'll leave it at about 370. It's not as piercing, is it? So yeah, so what they've done here, look, they've made a master volume out of this. This is what the mods that's been done. And then that's just, not sure what they've made out of that. I wonder if they've made some kind of cut with that. Seems a bit better. It's got 55 watts of bulbs on there. And now I've got 75. You can hear it's coming up now. I'm bringing the volume down. You see now we're up to 300 volts and you can hear it getting louder and louder. It's drawing 170 milliamps, so that's all good off the wall. And if I just bring that around, you can actually see that on there. Turn that down a bit. Now you can see 170 milliamps there on the wall, and we've got 159 volts going into it. It's drawing 26 watts with the bulbs. But yeah, that's all looking good. So what we're going to do now is quickly take these out, put 100 in. There we go. You can see the voltage is going up now. Let's pull the current limiter up. Let's pull the signal generator out now. So you can hear it running now, and no capacitance hum at all whatsoever. We've got some leaky, it's like got a bit of leakage going on there. Now that could be from the mods they've done, could be from anything. But it's running pretty well, and that's on a 100 watt bulb. Let's punch it up another 40, madam. That's really coming up now. 372 volts, 197 going in. It's drawing 250 milliamps idle. We don't really need to check the bias because the while it's on the bulbs it won't be a problem. So yeah, 368. Let's just put it up straight up to 200 watts the current limiting, and you can see that's going up now to 400 volts. Not quite, because the tubes are conducting even better, and so will the preamp tubes be. And now we've got quite a bit of fry. Now we've got a bit more current on the tubes and on the resistors and whatever. A bit more voltage. I can see wires disconnected and all sorts in here. So yeah, 394. So look here, let's get something that's insulated now. We've got a wire off here, don't know where that's going. There's a yellow wire, you can just about see it there, yellow wire just broken off from somewhere, or just cut, left dangling. Well, it runs. That's like acting as a... Oh dear. I'm surprised this amp's actually fired up, but yeah, it's really surprised me. Yeah. Well, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to get the guitar. Right, we've got the guitar through it. And that's how they used to talk in my neck of the woods. Is that your guitar, youth? So, if we turned the treble, yeah, that's responsive. You see the background noise is quite high, the noise floor compared to the volume with this, compared to the volume of the guitar. There's this master volume thing going on here. To get rid of these carbon comp resistors, man. Actually, if we turn this channel up and bring this down now, this is naturally not turn that down. So I think what they've done is it's not a master volume, they've paralleled the channels, and that is a cut, like a top cut on a Carlsberg amp or on a Vox AC30. bit of a glare at the schematic. These channels are identical. Don't suppose this works. No, the vibrato doesn't work, or the tremolo, whatever. I've got my Les Paul and the neck's gone convexed on it yet again to keep altering it. So there we go, that works. That's surprised me. It really has surprised me that that actually runs, but it does. It's a bit sick, but it runs. It's very sick, but it does run. And it doesn't sound bad, really. It's not going through a particularly decent speaker either. Right, I thought we'd just do a bit of testing on these capacitors, these brown capacitors here. See if there's any leakage on them. Ooh, better turn the volume down, haven't we? So we've got 119 on there. Nothing on there. Not quite sure what's going on there. Got voltage on that one, 166. Nothing on there. 191 on there. Nothing on there. 192. Nothing on there. So they look good caps. Not sure what they are, but we'll have to investigate them further. Got one there. And nothing on there either. So yeah, you can see that if we put the meter on. See, nothing to speak of there. So that's looking good. Let's put the meter there. Just about see that, can't you? Let's go on to this one. We've got 252 there. What we got there? Yeah, that's the same as jumping about a bit there, but not sure what's going on. The thing is with the wiring and things with this, you know, you see it occasionally just flicks up to 1.3 volts there. Not sure what's going on. What's on that resistor? A lot of voltage. 399. What we got on that one? 203. 33. So is that being fed from that wire there? Let's have a look at that. Could be on the phase inverter, that one. 77. 38 volts, that could also be on the phase inverter. 30 volts. Negative 30. Oh, they're the coupling caps for the output tubes. So negative 38. Yeah, negative 38 there. Of course they are. Duh. What's that lot then? Negative 39. So that's the bias circuit. Those resistors that's been bodged up there, bodged up together. That's for the bias there, to get the bias. Negative 38 seems. Mind you, we've got the current limiter on, haven't we? So oh, I'm on the wrong one. Duh. There we go. Negative 43. 460. Yeah, it's probably all right. No check of the bias, of course, but yeah, I'd expect to see it around there for that sort of voltage. That's some voltage on there. Let's just flick up. If we look, I'll just flick it off for a second. Got my finger on the button though. You see there, a nice healthy 464 there. What were those caps rated for? That's why they wired in series. Rated for 450 volts. Yes, there's a fair bit of voltage swaging onto those tubes, so we probably will get a good 60 watts out of this with that sort of voltage on there. Right, I think we can switch off now. That's really surprised me. That really has surprised me. I really didn't expect that to fire up, but it has done, so that's really good. And this amp was really well packed as well. It came in a huge box, and the packing around it was unbelievable. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen an amp packed as well as that. So the guy that I bought this off, his name is Simon. So if you're watching this video, Simon, thank you. You made a really good job of packing that. So yes, there we go. That's running. So what I want to do with this is put it back to original. Reverse all of these mods, put it back to original. None of these caps appear to be leaking at all. They look really good. So we'll probably just leave those in, you know, because they're not leaking at all. I don't know what make they are. Just tap there. Can you see that logo on there? Anybody recognise that? Because I don't. Or if I've seen them, it's some years ago. Can't quite see what it says on there. No. Does that say? Let's see if we can go in a bit more. I don't think we can. Whether we can. Is that RSK RA or ISK RA? Don't know. Rub the other one off. Not that one. That one. Don't know. Don't remember seeing those before, but of course I may have done this. You'll see that many amps, they become a blur. But yeah, anybody know what those are? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you know how they're rated, whether they're rated as good caps or not. One thing that is bothering me though is that is only 160 volts. So when this is switched on, they must be getting a right pounding. That's only 160 volts. Mind you, they've survived, haven't they? So that's something we need to check, because if those caps are getting a bit of a beating when they're turned on, it's amazing. I get the impression that something's missing from here as well, because it's as if I can see where some components have been. So I think there's been a bit of and you can see where they've been connected up. So I think there's been a bit of modding going on there. So I have some new capacitors all round. Got to get those caps. I've just spotted two more under the board there. I never saw those, did I? Bet you saw them. I'm that busy fiddling around with it, trying to get it running and whatnot and testing it. I've just spotted two more under the board. That's not a great way to do that, is it? We're going to change those. We'll take the whole board out. I wonder if we could mount those up on the top, you know. I think what I'll do, it's a bit naughty, but we'll just do it for a second, and let's just bring this down. Let's just go up with the meter. So we're looking at the meter there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick the power on quickly and see what that reaches. I've got one hand on the current limiter button, so we'll watch that. So 480 volts. What did we have on the wall voltage? At 238, so that's good. So 480 volts, that's good. So that's given us a 20 volt window, and by that I mean 20 volts if we're using 500 volt caps. So we've got caps under here, and we've got, I think, 2 more somewhere under there. I'm sure I saw some others. So what we could do is 50-50 at 500 volts, and then 32 at 32 here. So I think what we'll do now is we'll move to the computer, and we'll just have a look at a bit of gumph about this amp. So we're going to have a look at this website, www.edgaraudio.se, and this guy has compiled quite a bit of information about these amps. So you can see the model we've just looked at there. Sorry, not there. This one is the one we've just looked at, the 60 watt Reverb and Trem. So there's three models on there, just a 60 watt, 100 watt, and a 60 watt with Reverb and Tremolo, which is what we've got. So you can see here we've got some PA columns and an amplifier there. Looks like they did some PAs, a 200 watt custom PA. Everybody did a 200 watt PA, didn't they, in those days? And then you've got these look like mixers. Never seen one of those before. Never seen the 200. I bet they are rare. Very rare. We've got a 200 watt Carlsberg on the top floor. We've got to do something with that yet. So here we've got some, looks like 4x12 cabinet here, and shown with the Reverb Trem amplifier, which is again is the one we've just looked at. And then it looks like there's a 15 watt Reverb and Trem combo here. That's interesting. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that. Got some more PA stuff here, columns, mixers. You can see we've got a range of PA speakers there. And you can go on this website, have a look. There's loads of info on it. We're just having a bit of a brief look at it. And we've got a 1x18 bass cabinet and a bass and organ cabinet there. More pictures there. And more pictures there. Now there is another brochure on here as well. Orange, so there's the orange brochure. You can see. There's the PA cabinets. That's the bass cabinet. So a couple of amps here. That's the 100 watt and the 60 watt. So the one that we've just looked at doesn't appear to be in this orange brochure. Speaker unit with a crossover. And there you can see all the pictures there. So yeah, so it's an interesting website, this. And this is all the information that the guys compiled, and it's very, very interesting read. So go on the site and have a read, edgaraudio.se, and have a look. There's schematics on there, which is where I got the schematic from that we've just looked at. So there's all the schematics on there. Quite a good compilation of info. So that'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching. You all take care, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye for now.